let's discuss a little bit about a little bit more what I had as experience about Rotary. And I think we look at what we were doing in Rotary at that time for two major projects, the polio and the blood bank. If we look at how the things have graduated now, and that is coming to what I will be talking later, is because of the development, because of the progress. Blood donation was a thing of the past. Now we are talking about organ donation. There are so many things, and I think blood donation is well established and going on. But organ donation is something which is still in its infancy. People have laws, people have regulations, but there are no donors. If there are donors, there would be a huge ruckus about how to procure their organs. Common people do not know about the importance of organ donation. That, okay, something may happen to you, but people other than you would survive. So, I am a doctor, alright, but more than that, I am an Indian. But I think I would be a Rotarian if I am a human person. And that, to me, means there has to be a distinguishing feature between an animal and a human. And the human is the only individual or animal who can think not about himself or herself, but the community in which he or she is living. So my contribution to the community as a Rotarian, I feel, being a doctor myself, I am a Rotarian. Why? Because I am trying to serve people, not just by treating their hearts, but educating them to keep the disease away. And the biggest thing which hurts me as a cardiologist is the fact that about 10% of people, whether they know or do not know, in urban population, they are having heart disease. And that is a data which is progressing. In down south, if you look at the data, there's about 15% of the population who has heart disease. You may be knowing, you may not be knowing. And I think the surge of this disease is related to two different events. The first one is that we are prolonging our life. We are surviving the infections, the tuberculosis, the syphilis, the leprosy, and all those infections which were so very prevalent about 100 years back. And now we are living longer to have this realization. But more than that, there is also that we are able to recognize the disease. Earlier on, there were mummies which were thousands and thousands of years back, and when they were exhumed and analyzed, they were found to have evidence of tuberculosis. Nobody knew tuberculosis at that time. And same way, a lot of people would be dying of heart attacks and heart disease, which nobody came to know about 100 years back. So we are realizing more heart disease. Yes, but more than that, I think what is happening today is that we are spoiling our lifestyle. And that is what is possibly leading us to the surge of the disease. We are the capital of the world as far as heart disease is concerned. We are capital of the world as far as diabetes is concerned. We are capital of the world as far as hypertension is concerned. The maximum number of diabetes, heart disease happens in India. Even if we go to rickshaw pullers, 4 to 5% of those people would have a heart disease. Where do they come from? So it's not any longer a disease of affluence. It is a lifestyle disease. And what do we hold ourselves responsible for this lifestyle disease is that we have adopted the affluence of the Western world by taking vehicles, remote controls. We have everything in our hands, even this mobile which is coming. So we don't have to go about 100 meters to call our friend. We'll just ring it up and say hello. And I have seen people calling to their relatives or their sons and daughters from one room to the other. So what is happening today is we are getting remote control, which would mean that the activities, the actions, the physical activities is going down. And what is happening is that we are leaving our old professions. When we had yogis, what did the yogis do? You know, I would say that if I was a true Indian, the earlier Indian, the yogi Indian, my chances of having heart disease would be the minimum. 80% lesser than what we have today. But what we are vegetarians. Okay, maximum number of vegetarians, but we are pseudo-vegetarians. What I mean by pseudo-vegetarianism is that people have vegetables, but they are cooked in heavy oil or butter or ghee. And they're deep fried. We have pakoris, we have kachoris, we have all the sorts of heavily loaded oxygenated hydrocarbons, which is not available anywhere else in the world. We are talking about junk food, we are talking about pizzas, we are talking about other dishes, hamburgers and burgers, but we are not talking about the Indian junk food, which is killing us day in and day out. And this has become part and parcel of our life. I tell you, if, okay, Alok is a good friend of mine, if suppose I call him into my house for a party, and I say, okay, this is a chapati, 2 chapatis, and a katori of dal and a little bit of sabji without oil, he'll possibly never turn back to me again.
I'm using that diet only.
So you are, but you're not expecting that from me to be served. Right? And our life has become such because every day, in morning till evening, we are busy in the offices, and the evening we are busy with socialization. Right? And so socializations, this has spoiled our whole dietary reform. These diets were built when we were active. When we were active in the fields, my daddy used to bring raw material and use this chakki and mow that to bring the raw material. But today we have everything available in the stores. Go to a mall, bring it out. And you don't have to go to a mall, just hire a servant, send a servant, and that person is going to bring you there. Right? So we are actually not active at all. A day-to-day activity for a common man in an urban population is gets up late because he has slept late, gets up late, gets ready for the office, sits in the car or whatever vehicle, goes to the office, gets out of the car, goes to the office, sits down on the computer, works up there, and then by the end of the day, he says, I am tired. What are you tired for? I am tired of doing nothing. And because he's tired of doing nothing, he'll do nothing. So after that, he goes for socialization, he's too late to come home, and then sleeps, and then that is the end of the day. So that is what is happening to our common day-to-day life, and possibly that is responsible for the surge of obesity, for the surge of hypertension, for the surge of diabetes, and for the surge of coronary arteries or heart attacks and angina in our country today. And we are responsible for that. If we were true yogi, we would have caught the fruit from the tree, eaten it with a lot of water, and walked around the whole forest and lived happily. So we can't create forests. We have destroyed forests already. So one of the good things which Sunil was mentioning about is roping in 250 saplings, but I think just 250 saplings would be nothing. It would be a good endeavor if we promise ourselves that we start that thing wherever we want, we would plant the saplings. This is something which, there was a puzzle. I was reading this Ray's teaser in the morning. There was a question, if I have a secret which I share with 4 people, and that 4 people, then share that secret within half an hour with 4 different people each. How much time, and not coming back, how much time would it take for the secret to spread over the whole city? Can you imagine? It is 6 hours. In the population of Delhi, it would just take 6 hours, because 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. So it is exponential growth. If we take a project like this, and we all promise ourselves that we are going to do that, it's going to grow leaps and bounds. The problem is, we expect only Sunil to do it. And we say we are going to support it, and we are going to watch him do it. And that's what, I would say that that's what I got myself distracted from Rotary earlier, because the projects were just meant to be handled by the president and the team. And the rest of the people were there to actually fellowship. So that is what I want to say. 6 hours, the whole city would know the secret. 7.5 hours, the whole country would know it. And 8 hours, the whole world would know. So that is exponential growth. And I think if we have to take an idea forward, develop it, it is basically a collective decision that each one of us owns the responsibility of continuing and completing the task. If a president or if a team who's in charge of the club fails to deliver by the end of the year, it is a collective failure of the whole organization. So that is what I believe my side of the story is. And I think if my message goes to you and it percolates through you to as many people, this would possibly be able to reduce the brunt of the disease in our country so much more. And I think the biggest pain to me as a cardiologist is when a poor man, a rickshaw puller, comes to me with a heart attack. Smoking. Smoking is the biggest one of them all. They keep on smoking tobacco, chewing and all, and I don't know why the government is not banning these products. Possibly it's earning too much money from the excise and other, and it cares least bit about the life of the individual or the Indian population. So I think those things will go on and on. We can only criticize people, but we have our side of the story to build up. And smoking and tobacco should be absolutely no as far as our lifestyle requirement for preventing heart disease is concerned. The other thing which is very important is the aftermath of lack of exercise, the aftermath of a good diet, and aftermath of computerizations and remote control life. What is the aftermath of that? You have to, Ashish just said that I've been too busy. I don't agree with you, sir. Why? Nobody in this world could ever spend more than 24 hours a day. And I challenge anybody here to spend less than 24 hours a day. So everybody is busy. You can only spend 24 hours. You can spend this way or that. So that is the only difference. And you should be happy with what you do, and you should be happy with the productivity you have created. If you are happy with the productivity, you have achieved your targets. So what is this thing leading to is too much of mental stress. You have too much of time to think. The brain is active. When the brain is active, the hormones in the body are active too. There are a lot of adrenaline, noradrenaline, hormones secreted, the blood pressure goes up, the pulse rate goes up, I'm anxious, I'm tense and all. But this is hurting you. Why? Because it hurts the arteries. They are unnecessarily stressed. When you are exercising, this stress is compensated by the delivery of oxygen in the muscles. But here, when you are stressed, it is not. And so, yoga, meditation, your art of cooling down yourself, controlling your tempers, controlling your activities is something which also is a way to live and a way to reduce the coronary arteries or heart disease. And I think all these things are lifestyle mechanisms whereby we can reduce the heart disease and we can control the rampant problems which are developing in our country. Right? So I mean, I know we are all quite late already into the program, but my message to you is, I am a cardiologist and I am a member of your Rotary team now, and I would like to help you or anybody who comes to me with any kind of a situation. Yes, that's one side of the story. But the other thing is, I would be as active as any other member would be to complete our projects. So that's what my commitment is. Thank you very much.